Welcome back. Returning to my short podcasts may indicate that you find at least some of them interesting. Thank you for that. Last time I spoke about the universe, how deep it goes, and about our human limitation when it comes to understand what reality is. Even philosophy and all of science seem to end up on a reef of unknowing in an inexplicable ocean. Thus most people take to religion in order to have some comfort in an otherwise incomprehensible existence. I will return to this in a future podcast. Now, why is it like this? The short answer is that the world is not only physical, it is metaphysical, which is to say that it extends beyond the matter we relate to in practical life, and that may be subject to study in physics. One could say that metaphysics starts where physics ends. A brief example is your thoughts. They are immaterial. You cannot pick an idea or a thought out of your head and hold it in your hand. Yet it can move a mountain when being externalized by language, inventions, and the arts. One major mystery is how something immaterial may appear in the material. Another mystery is how something not material may exist at all. Why being? Aristotle was probably one of the first in the Western world to formulate the ultimate metaphysical question. What is it to be qua being? It has to do with the question about what existence really is. A question I spoke about in a previous podcast, considering reality. One metaphysical question goes like this. Is our existence necessary? That is to ask whether we as human beings are necessary for the world, the cosmos, to exist. How may we ever hope to answer such a question? What we know for sure is that our own existence is necessary for us to experience life and being, and that the wider cosmos is needed for us to have a place, even though our place in the greater scheme of things is on an almost invisibly small planet orbiting a rather ordinary star among trillions. From a human viewpoint, we are very important. We even add to our idea about our importance by defining ourselves as the superior creation, rulers of this planet, that we even consider having a divinely given to our soul benefit. Obviously, this is somewhat too anthropocentric, even a hype. Looking up instead of down, we soon realize that humanity as a whole is near the absolute insignificance. This insight is a game changer. The anthropocentric view says that our existence necessitates the existence of the world, which in a way is to say that the universe exists because of us, uniquely to make our existence possible. Yet do we really need all those billions of galaxies out there? Indeed, the world is obviously necessary for us to exist, but are we necessary for it to exist? In metaphysics, we usually distinguish between that which is necessary and that which is possible. Let me take you to an existential level. Our existence in the world may also just be one of many possibilities. This would imply that we are not really necessary at all. We are just a possibility become manifest from an infinite range of possible manifestations. This is somewhat humbling, and may be felt like an attack on our self-importance. Yet, just give it a thought. Considering man as a metaphysical being is another game changer. It makes the human being into a multi-level, even multi-dimensional being. The human being, as well as all other living beings on this planet and elsewhere, is a body housing a level of consciousness. It has both a physical, an emotional, an intellectual, and a spiritual body. The physical only is material in the common understanding of matter. Then what about the rest? Permit me. Pinch your skin. What happened? You experienced a slight pain in your skin. At the same time, this made you unfailingly aware of the fact that you exist. It seems undeniable. But what happened really? The small impulse of pain in your skin traveled via your nerves to your brain, where it was located to the precise point and translated as pain. Your concept of pain is immaterial, just like your thoughts are. Thoughts travel the opposite way, becoming impulses of your will, so that your fingers move to pinch your skin. We certainly need to wonder how something material becomes immaterial and something immaterial becomes material. This is a phenomenon on two different levels of existence, and such is also our interpersonal experience. We may relate to each other via the senses, touch and smell, but we even more often relate to each other via language and emotion. Lovers touch, smell, share emotions and their understanding of each other by sharing thoughts using language. Emotions are translated into language, and the language expressing thoughts may move emotions. Emotions transpire into bodily sensations and expressions, such as tears or muscular contractions. This is all immaterial material transcriptions crossing that magic border. Is it possible to say that a thought that appears in your mind is a mental manifestation coming from nowhere? That it crosses the border from non-being into being? After all, the thought did not exist in your mind just a second before it appeared. Perhaps an entirely new idea. You may go against this view, saying that this thought or idea appeared because of prior impulses, observations, and experiences. It follows logically as a matter of consequence. No doubt, you're partly right. Your cognitive mind is always working, even at the level slightly below the thinking surface. Still, this particular thought or idea did not exist until it blew your mind and changed your understanding of whatever it was. Let me take this one level deeper. Where were you before you came into being here as a human? Indeed, you grew from a fertilized egg in some woman's womb, your mother. But this only explains the physical side of it. What about the metaphysical? Once born, you immediately began to express a personality that did not exist before. You were a new being on earth, just as your thought was a newborn child of your mind. This takes us to the metaphysical opposite of being, the non-being. Considering all the things we can observe as being, everything from a small stone to the galaxies in the universe, we have to admit that there must be an even more possible thing that do not exist. I now consider only the physical world. Why do not millions of strange beings populate Mars or the Moon? Why is there not a second moon orbiting our planet? Where are the children that your mother never gave birth? These are all possibilities, yet obviously not necessities. A second moon is not necessary. But what about that unborn child? You were born, but are you truly necessary as part of the cosmos? As part of life? Possibly not. Yet you are here. Why? That kind of necessity do have in the grand scheme of things? What is your purpose? Once you were a non-being here on Earth. You did not exist, yet now you do. This takes us into one of the deepest metaphysical questions. Why is there something at all? Why not just nothing, absolutely nothing? Is non-being a possibility with no necessity? Is non-being and non-existence at all possible? I have tried to reach into this conundrum in various ways, and my thinking may to many appear circular. Still, I believe it may be an interesting approach. Considering absolute non-existence, we understand that it cannot even be an absolutely empty space or a void. It must be absolute nothingness. My argument goes that if there were such absolute nothingness, then the nothingness nevertheless exists, and its pure existence makes it into something. Thus, existence, something incomprehensible, yet being. Being becomes unavoidable. This may be a way to explain existence from out of the impossibility of total nothingness. Considering consciousness as the moving power of this non-nothingness, we may understand the creation of the world as an eternal, continuous, unlimited and an inexhaustible process, not originating in a divine act or the bang of nothing into something. In this picture, you and I are only two specks of thinking flesh, fragments of the cosmic consciousness. I leave you here to ponder and wonder, hoping to see you again, present in being and sharing in my immaterial thoughts materializing via this manifest electronic medium of communication.